Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing. Let's go.
We are in Kansas in 2087. The climate has gone completely wild. Extreme heat is now a constant presence, making agriculture very difficult. Harvests are nearly impossible, and the little that is gathered becomes precious as gold. Every trick, like scarecrows, is necessary to hope to scare away the birds. What will happen to the earth? How will humans behave in the face of this beginning of an apocalypse? Enjoy this drawing and stay tuned for more.
Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing.
We are in the state of Utah in 2088. The climate is still crazy and the heat is unbearable. The population does what it can to feed itself and to entertain. Water sports have been banned, either due to drought or torrential rain. Sports are now only terrestrial. The 82nd edition of the Red Bull Rampage is taking place, filmed by 25 cameras, as well as those of the riders. The first participant has successfully made it to the bottom after her first run, scoring 92.5. Robin Goons can be proud of this performance. What does the future hold for us? Enjoy this drawing and stay tuned for more.
Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing.
Los Angeles 2127. Technology has taken a giant leap. Humanoid robots are among us, assisting us with our most basic tasks like carrying groceries, making coffee, or holding an umbrella. As for the climate, what have we done? It's completely insane, with extreme heat during the day and storms in the evenings and at night. This makes it impossible to feed the population, and the large megacities are tearing apart. People are fighting for food, and many are fleeing the cities to find better shelter. What is happening to the world? Enjoy this drawing and stay tuned for more.
Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing.
2128, departing from Los Angeles and a few dozen miles from New York. Anarchy has taken hold in the Big Apple. People are banding together and forming plans to survive. Food is becoming scarce, still due to the climate, and riots are breaking out in various neighborhoods of the city, particularly in Manhattan, from Harlem to the Lower East Side. The government is doing what it can and has called for humanitarian aid to assist the population. Jumbo planes and experienced pilots have been requisitioned to carry out drops of supplies and rations. What can be done to avoid total chaos? What can be done to bring the climate back to normal? Enjoy and stay tuned for more.
Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing.
Year 2129, New York. The city is in flames and chaos. Food is still scarce. The government has been unable to calm the population. The military also failed to ensure security and has been dismantled. Now, it's every man for himself. Politically, countries have agreed to limit technological productivity in hopes of restoring a viable climate for cultivation in a few years. In any case, New York reflects the world's Armageddon. Safety zones have been established and hospitals are overwhelmed. People are taking every risk to flee Manhattan, whether on foot, in the air, or by sea. Some brave volunteer navigators, using their own means of navigation like kite surfing, muster their courage to rescue the stranded. Will the world turn into a nightmare, or is a glimmer of hope possible? Enjoy and stay connected.
Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing.
Fortress of Louisbourg. We are now in 2179. 50 years have passed since the global chaos and various riots like the one in New York Following the global commitment to reduce productivity, the climate has slightly improved. The temperature remains warm but bearable, and storms have turned into less severe rain. Cultivation is now feasible. Regarding the population, following the widespread purge and the awareness of global warming, some clans have decided to live in self-sufficiency without technological assistance, inhabiting places more in harmony with nature, such as castles or citadels. As for entertainment, television is clearly no longer relevant and has been replaced by artistic performances such as theater or concerts featuring wind and string instruments like the violin. How will the world evolve? Enjoy and stay tuned for the latest episode.
Welcome.
Stay here and listen this story with inking drawing.
Somewhere in the state of Utah, 1 year has passed since the world was born. We are now in 2180. The climate has still not returned to normal. The heat is moderate, but storms have made a comeback. It is still difficult to find food. The population no longer seeks to communicate, and clans remain isolated to avoid civil wars. People have built rather visible shelters, like landmarks on a map, to facilitate barter between different communities. Indeed, a few daring travelers brave old dangers to connect people. Ultimately, the video games of the 21st century, along with the visionary Hideo Kojima, had predicted what was to come. Are we doomed to this way of life, or are people ultimately benevolent enough to improve the fate of humanity and reconnect through dialogue for a better future? Thank you for listening to and watching this mini-series. Enjoy and stay tuned for upcoming drawings.